Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse and the most important day in crypto history ever, Mark 12. It's FOMC day. What is that in plain English? It's the day when the American Fed decides whether to cut, hold, or increase interest rates. And I'm going to say it at the beginning, it's going to be a nothing burger. Nothing's going to happen today. I don't think there's going to be a rate cut. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility. We might wick around, go up, go down, and then end up tomorrow at 83.5, 84,000, 82,500, whatever it might be. I don't see this having a massive impact on the market today. Of course, Chairman Powell can surprise us and he can cut rates. I just don't see it. It's not on my March bingo card. I think we're looking at April. I think we're going to see QE, quantitative easing, start in April. I think we're going to see rate cuts start in April. And I think we're just going to go sideways for the next 3 to 4 weeks, going between maybe 80 and 90,000. That's where I think we're going to go. Anyway, before we begin, a few shout outs. Good morning to Jan, KB, Kishan, Hidden is in chat. Danny is here as well. Good morning to you all. I don't think I've missed anybody. I hope you are all well. And of course, look, we have new things on the screen. Of course, we are all about evolution, not revolution. We have a ticker at the bottom if you don't know what the price of cryptocurrencies are. There they are in Technicolor. And of course, don't forget, if you're watching on Binance, we stream on Binance and we also stream on YouTube. So go and subscribe to us, Crypto Warehouse on YouTube. It's easy to find. In fact, if you go to Google and type in Crypto Warehouse, you will see all kinds of links to our X account, to our YouTube account, of course, to our Binance account. We are omnipresent. We are everywhere. I've got a very nice glow today, and I'm not quite sure why, but should we get on with the show? Today, we're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Sun, Sea, and Sol. Again, I missed my calling in life. I should have gone to work for the Sun. We're going to talk about Mad Charles, Bubble Drops, Social Fi, Dinobox, Quantum Quandary, all of that in an hour. It is the FOMC day. That's the title of the show. And bottom left-hand corner, we've just ticked up to 204,000 followers. 204,000 followers. That's across X, that's across YouTube, Binance, and other places that we stream. We are slowly but surely starting to grow. It is very much slowly at this moment in time because of the way that YouTube works. There's not a lot of traffic. So any subscribes you can add to us, that would be fantastic. So we're going to go through all of that, and of course I will answer any questions you've got in chat. So if you've got anything you want to ask, feel free to ask, but if not, let's get on with the show. Volume then is still low, under 70 billion, 72 billion I think on Monday, 76 on Tuesday, 69 billion today. Obviously that's got to change. If we're in the bull run, we need to be looking at 120 billion, 140 billion a day. Without that, we don't have the volume, we don't get the pumps. Bitcoin dominance hasn't really changed. ETH dominance is in the dust, absolutely left behind. Market cap coming in at 2.73 trillion. Remember, my top for the last 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, has been a $6 to $10 trillion market cap. So the minimum I think we're going to do from here is a 2x. That would put Bitcoin at what, 160 roughly? That would put Ethereum at maybe 5,000. XRP maybe $5. I don't think I'm going to be a million miles away with a 6 to 7 to $8 trillion market cap. But we're running out of time. It's nearly April. We need to see some changes in the market and then we'll move up. So Bitcoin coming in a little bit higher than it was yesterday, 83.6. Ethereum just below 2,000. Ethereum, the last couple of days, has not done too badly. It's really, I don't know why we are just under $2,000, but it seems to be having a bit of a recovery. Nice to see. Again, XRP, $2.50, I think we need to be at really before we can push back up to 3. And there we are, Solana. It's hanging on like dear life. If anybody saw those meerkats, was it meerkats climbing across the telephone line over the weekend? This is Solana. It's just edging along. It's just edging along. 126 was our target, and it's hanging on for dear life. Cardano coming back at 72 cents. I think 80 cents is where we really need to get back to then push on up. Bargain. Chainlink under $15. Absolute steal. And again, we can look at the gainers and losers. What's up? EOS is up because it's going to change its name. It's amazing what a name change can do. EOS was one of the, I'm not going to call it a scam. I'm not going to call it a rug pull because that's not really fair. They had one of the largest raises in history. Can't remember now. It was billions they raised and it's done nothing. Well, they are going to rename themselves. I don't know what they're going to call Veneer, maybe something like that. And they're going to become a Web3 bank. That's the goal. Why? Because everybody wants to become a Web3 bank because Donald Trump is throwing out the licenses like they are confetti. One for you, one for me. Everybody gets a Web3 banking license. So EOS is going to become a Web3 bank called Veneer or something like that. If we've got time at the end of the show, we'll go and look it up. Hyperliquid on a good march. Casper is up. Any other sexy gainers of the week? Of the day? Not really. Sonic is still on its march. Again, I wasn't a fan. You watched the show when I called Phantom a dead chain. It had no revenue. It had no fees. It had nothing going for it. And then Andre Crongy came back in and started kicking tail. And now it's on the march, on its way up. So again, expect good things. I expect good things from him. I think he's going to go and try and take out Coinbase. That's my personal opinion. I think he's going to go and try and create a Sonic-based version of them. But we'll see. Losers then, PancakeSwap is down. It had a massive pump. Don't think anything of that. That's just a profit take. BNB is down just a touch. Celestia, I think, is on its way to heaven. I think it's on its way. I think it's finished. I think it's off to its celestial body. There's nothing for me in that chain at all. Cosmos is down a touch. Mantle, the Graph, a few losers. Not really that much to complain about. So let's get into the show. Now I have, whenever I see amazing nature at the top, it means I've got a video for you. I don't know what the video is. I have no idea what the video is. Good morning, Shiva. Good morning, Vanna. I hope you're both well. Oh, this is it. Okay. This is how you should sleep at night. Okay. You shouldn't be worried about crypto. You shouldn't be worried about where the price is going to go today or tomorrow. Be like this baby seal, sleeping in the reeds. Just relax, relax. It's all going to come good. Either, as Dido once said, we're all going to go down with this ship, or we're all going to be very, very happy at the end of this bull run. But whichever way, if you've got sleepless nights, relax. Take your eyes off the charts. Don't be looking at the charts every day. It's not going to do your health any good. If you're not experienced in it, if you've not been here before and this is your first crypto, you're going to see things moving 5 or 6% every day. It's a bad thing, okay? It's a bad thing for you to worry about. Let's not worry about it too much. Good morning to Tariq. I hope you are well. So gold has reached a new all-time high of $3,025. Now, I have contacted a new project, which is a very, very small project. I think it's got a $1 million market cap. I'm not sponsored, not been paid by the guy, and he is going to trade gold. And he's going to trade gold, and any profits he gets from trading gold, he's going to buy back and burn his token. Now, nothing is maybe going to ever come of this project, but I like the fact it's different. I like the fact that he's trying to do something different. He's a trader, he's a gold trader, and he's going to be trading gold. And I think in any other year, I'd say that was a bad idea. But the last 12 months, and certainly the next 6 to 12 months, are probably a really good time to trade gold. We could potentially see 3,200, 3,500. And I covered yesterday PAXG, talked about PAXG a lot. I'm not a crypto maxi. I'm not going to sit here and say, put all of your money into crypto, because that would be a terrible thing to do. You need to think about owning a little bit of gold. Now, of course, it doesn't go up the same way that Bitcoin and crypto goes up. Of course not. It doesn't, but neither does property. It's never a bad idea to have a diversified portfolio. And again, gold is going to have a good run. It's had a good run. It's going to have another good run. And then obviously when the political tensions die down and the conflicts come to an end, gold will probably just go back to sitting there at $3,000 for the next 5 years, which is fine. Now then, Cathy Wood predicts 2 to 3 rate cuts this year. 3 rate cuts would be amazing. 2 would be acceptable. She then referenced Trueflation, who we've covered many, many times on this channel. Trueflation is a non-political view of inflation based on many, 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 many key price points. So they look at the price of many things in America, and I think they do the UK as well. And Cathy Wood basically uses them to get an unbiased view of inflation. So she was using them during the Biden years. Of course, she's going to use them through the Trump years as well. Good morning, Chris. I hope you are well. Nice to see a lot of the OGs in chat this morning. I've made a video for you, basically highlighting what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to say everything that I've said in the OG video on here because that wouldn't be the point. And for those of you that don't know, we have an OG subscription, which I think is like $2 a month, $3 a month. You can subscribe to us and you can help us. And believe you me, we need the help right now. I've had 5 inquiries for video content this week, and every single one of them has been a scam, and I've turned them all down. It's costing me a fortune, being honest. And nobody said getting rich was easy, but also getting rich does not require honesty in a lot of cases to do with crypto. Now, Eric Trump, I'm confident that Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million. He knows what's coming. My argument would be another man in a suit, another man clean, trimmed, another man with a nice haircut, giving you a price for Bitcoin. He's no different to Saylor. He's no different to anybody else. You're going to want to believe him because he's giving you a price that you want to believe. It's the same as an estate agent comes around and tells you that your house is worth $1 million. Okay? 6 months down the line, you've sold it for $650,000. They told you it's $1 million because they want the business. No, don't believe everything that anybody tells you. And then finally, this is the market watch of what's happening today. And this is the day, the most important day in crypto ever, will happen at 2 p.m. American time. And I don't know what time that is in the UK, maybe 6 or 7 p.m. in the UK. It's probably going to be volatile between now and then. And that's not the important one. The important one is the 2:30, okay? Chairman Powell's press conference. Now, I said in the video, I'll give this away, you have dovish and you have hawkish. Dovish is very, very positive, and hawkish is very, very negative. So this is likely to be 0. That's what everybody is factoring in. And if it is 0, it's what everybody expected. If it's a cut, we go up. Now, what's important, and I say this quite a lot, is listen to what Powell has to say. He's going to talk about housing, he's going to talk about inflation, he's going to talk about unemployment, he's going to tell you where the economy is in America. And I know America is only 5% of the population of the world, or whatever it might be right now. It's not the be-all and end-all. But when it comes to money markets and when it comes to Bitcoin, it is the be-all and end-all. And unfortunately, until something dramatic changes, that's never going to change. So when the Fed tells you what's going to happen, you never bet against the Fed. If they say that the economy is under control, everything's coming down, we've got rid of the excess inflation, housing prices are cooling off, and unemployment is going up. If he says that, we're likely to see a rally to the upside. But I don't think March is the month for us to think about all-time highs. I think it's going to be April. That's just my honest opinion. I could be wrong, and again, maybe I am. Maybe I am wrong. But it's at least my opinion, and that's what the important thing is. Right then, excuse me. Now then, this is the last one. And this, I don't want to get political because that's not what I'm about, but we have to talk about Trump, obviously. We have to talk about other people. Now, I'm not going to go through what Rob Roos has to say because he is quite a contentious character. But suffice to say, central bank digital currencies, and I've got to be careful I don't talk too much about them because you can get removed. So I'm not going to go into too much depth. But a digital euro, a digital pound, and a digital dollar, it basically takes all of the money out of the supply, all of the paper and coins out of supply and gets rid of them and replaces them with a digital currency. Now, you might think that's a brilliant idea because you pay for your shopping on your card, you do bank transfers to pay for your bills, you've got direct debits. You think, well, that's absolutely fine. If I told you that it was programmable money, then you might have a different way of looking at it. And 97% of money in the world in circulation is already digital. Okay, there's only 3% of the money in the world that's in your pocket in cash, and that's an average. It's not a fact in every country, but it's digital money. It's not programmable money. Now, programmable money means you can freeze that money the same way you can freeze a bank account. What you can't do is you can't freeze the 100 euros that's in your pocket in cash. But what you can do is you can freeze the 100 euros that's on your mobile phone in your pocket. And this is Christine Lagarde, the president of the European Central Bank, admitting in this video, which you can't play for copyright reasons, that there will be control, and they will control the money, and they have the ability to control the money. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. The CBDCs are not inherently a bad idea. They're a very good idea because money has all kinds of fraudulent problems. You know, people can fake it, people can steal it, people can, you know, do all sorts of things with it. So money inherently is a problem, but it's not the money that's the problem. It's the people that using it that's the problem. And when you go to a central bank digital currency, you give all of that power to these people. And they, in certain instances, are very, very bad. And the one thing I'll ask you to go and look at is look at what Canada did with everybody who donated to the Truckers Fund. Look at what they did to all of the bank accounts associated with the truckers. And that's all I'll say on the matter, is you're taking control of the most important thing in the world, which is the money supply, and you are giving it to a few people to control. And in most instances, it's never going to be a problem. But in some instances, it's a massive, massive problem. For example, and this is the last thing I'll say, if you don't have a decent credit score, maybe they will stop you from flying somewhere. Maybe if you've not taken certain medication, they will stop you from getting a train somewhere. Or maybe if you're a little bit overweight, they'll stop you from buying fast food. Now, I believe in a free world. I don't know whether I'm a libertarian or not. Let's say I am. I don't believe it's anybody's decision to stop you from eating food or travel or anything like that. And I don't believe that you should give that decision to somebody else. And that's why I think they are so dangerous. Not because the technology behind it is bad. It's not. It's because they think they know better than you. And at the end of the day, it's your life. Nobody should tell you how to live your life. Trump administration wants to buy as much Bitcoin as possible, Crypto Council's Bo Hines reveals. One of the biggest misunderstandings of the Crypto Summit was that they weren't buying any Bitcoin. And everybody expected them to go out and buy 2 million Bitcoin. They are going to go and get 1 million Bitcoin, but they're doing it through a different means than we believed. And this is to do with a thing called budget neutral methods. Now, let's say you want to wallpaper your bedroom. You've got two options. You do it or you don't do it. If you do it, you have to pay for it. And let's say it costs 100 euros to wallpaper your room. If you go and sell an exercise bike that you don't use for 100 euro, and then you spend that 100 euros on wallpapering your bedroom, that is a budget neutral action. It hasn't physically cost you anything. Yes, you've swapped one resource for another, but in terms of money, you know, in terms of paying for it out of your monthly wage, it's cost you nothing. That's what they want to do with Bitcoin. They want to basically, any time that illegal proceeds are seized, that money goes to Bitcoin. Money goes to the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. That's what they want to do. So they don't want it to cost the taxpayer anything. The president was adamant about creating the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. We wanted to make sure that we did it the right way, that respected Bitcoin for being so unique and also give credence to innovation and other spaces in the digital world, he said. Bitcoin is not a security, it's a commodity. It has intrinsic stored value. It's traditionally accepted. It has, as David likes to describe, the immaculate conception. There's no issuer. Absolutely agree. We spoke yesterday about the magic money-making machines. There's about 14 of them in the federal government in America. Anyone that tells you that Bitcoin is magic internet money, ask them, how does the money in your pocket come into circulation? It's printed. So it's printed out of thin air. Okay? Or if it's not printed out of thin air, then the Bank of England create it out of thin air, or the European Central Bank create it out of thin air. Ask them how they make the currency that's in their pocket. There's no difference. I would say Bitcoin is less political, less censored, but that's just my argument. It's asking in country, how much gold you want right now? I want as much as I can get. There is a very, very pressing issue. Michael Saylor is trying to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. He must know that something is going on. Now, yesterday as well, it was revealed that something like North Korea has $1.2 billion or something like that in Bitcoin. Now, if I was a betting man, I would argue that there is going to be a crypto war. I think that anyone that has illegal gains in Bitcoin, that will be seized to go to the strategic reserve. I think that the American NSA teams will certainly go and try and hack into various different criminals' accounts and try and get their Bitcoin. So I think that Bitcoin is going to be accumulated over the next 3 or 4 years by America in different means. They will either from proceeds of illegal activities, that will be one area. Maybe they will look at some kind of crypto tax, which I've said before. I think they should go along the route of having zero rate tax on crypto gains and move that to a crypto tax where 5 cents or 10 cents of every transaction that goes on through an American exchange is taxed, and that money is converted into Bitcoin and sent to a strategic reserve. I haven't read that anywhere, seen that anywhere. That's just what I would do. A consumption tax, a little bit like VAT. That would be how I would play it. But they are going to be accumulating Bitcoin. Don't think for 1 minute that they are not. Okay, they are certainly going to be keeping Bitcoin in reserve. Right then. Yes, indeed, I forgot to ask you, please press the like button and don't forget to give us a follow. We made quite a controversial video over the weekend about Gary economics, which got a lot of heat. And the reason I bring that up is there is going to be a CEO, Gary the CEO. He's got Gary on his show this week, and he's got him and a finance guy. And I'm going to bring that up for you to go and watch. He falls into the false idols category for me. He goes on shows where he has no competition. He preaches his economic opinions without recourse. Nobody comes back at him. Okay, this Gary the CEO is going to tell us more about Gary than anything we've seen so far, because he's been put up against MPs, he's been put up against Piers Morgan, and nobody's challenged him. So tomorrow we're going to see what he's made of. And again, I'm not out here to necessarily bash him, but I don't believe everything that comes out of his mouth, and I think he's got interior motives. So make sure to go and check that out. I will talk about it tomorrow. And again, it's not really crypto related as well, so maybe I'll just tweet it. Justin Sun reveals the plans to integrate TRX on Solana. So Tron is coming to Solana. This was the big news that he was talking about. I said he was going to be launching some kind of DeFi platform. He's not going to bother. He's going to bring Tron to Solana. Now, again, I'm not going to say anything bad against Justin Sun because he hasn't done that many negative things in the crypto space. But again, false idols, just because he's got a load of money and just because he went and ate a banana that cost him $500,000, it also doesn't make him a genius. And I think this move is the right move for Tron. But ask yourself a question. If he is so bullish on the Tron network, why is he bringing Tron to Solana? Why isn't he trying to bridge some of Solana's products onto his own blockchain? That would be my argument. So, days after disclosing that TRX will reach a new all-time high, he's setting things in motion. He's hinted at an incoming integration of TRX on Solana, sparking industry-wide speculation over the mode of deployment. In the next post, he said TRX will soon be on Solana, ready to buy and collaborate. Pundits are predicting a cross-chain bridge to bring TRX to Solana. That would probably be through something like dBridge, which a lot of people use. Don't know why. That wouldn't be a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. Other options, a cross-chain bridge is considered the most viable. The move follows Solana bridge assets from Ethereum, surpassing 314. We've talked about that as well. Both communities' integration is seen as a win, given their individual capabilities. Solana's performance can bring Tron close to the goal of eliminating fees. Solana with a record spike in activity. So, one of the really good things that I think Justin Sun spoke about, when was it? Maybe 6 months ago, he talked about having a feeless stablecoin. So a stablecoin that doesn't cost you anything to send to anybody. So I could send Kishan $100 in Tron stablecoin, and it would cost me $0 to send it to him. Now that sounds crazy, but the very simple fact is stablecoins make money hand over fist, because the money that you're sending back and forth on the blockchain is backed by real dollars, and that real dollars is invested in gilts, which pays 4 or 5%. So for every $100 billion in stablecoins that you see, they're making $5 billion a year. They can afford to pay those fees. If you think about it, all that happens is every $100 that gets sent back and forth in a month, as long as the cost of it is less than $5, then that stablecoin is in profit. Now, does that benefit Solana? Yes. If you have a gasless stablecoin, more people are going to use it, which means Solana, in effect, will be paid those fees by the stablecoin. And the stablecoin will earn more and more money by bringing more and more money on board, by having more and more circulation. So it's a kind of a win-win. Now, I see that working really well for the stablecoin on Tron. I just don't know what it will do for the Tron coin. Maybe you have to hold a certain number of Tron to allow you to have gasless transactions. That's a possibility as well. So the announcement did not trigger a rally for Sol and TRX. Well, we know why Sol isn't rallying, the same reason that nothing else is rallying, and they keep releasing anti-woke content, which isn't going to do anybody any good. Solana, on the other hand, is reeling from the ripples of its 5th anniversary as it moves from the failure of the proposal. The proposal didn't go through. The advert, I watched it. It was funny, but in the wrong way. Despite the outrage, Sol price is staging a recovery. The CME hasn't really had an effect yet, but it will do at some point when the markets take off. Lots of things. You hear comments like people build during a bear market. Well, I'm not saying we're in a bear market, but we're not doing especially well right now. And I think these kind of partnerships are going to work out in the long run. Justin Sun knows what he's doing. If his long-term goal is to have a stable coin, which I imagine it might be, then this is the smart move. This is the same reason that the money is coming in from Ethereum. This is the same reason that Solana has so many NFT projects, DeFi projects, meme coins over there. It's where the activity is. And again, all activity is activity, good and bad. So, you know, we can talk about pump.fun, we can talk about pump and dumps, we can talk about all of that, but it's where the activity is. Right, Charles Hoskinson rejects claims that Cardano is controlled by 3 entities. And this is quite appropriate, really, because Kronos went out and printed 70 billion tokens. Even though there's only 30 billion tokens currently in existence, they printed 70 billion. Again, is that a decentralized blockchain anymore? Absolutely not. It certainly can't be. Charles is now defending his own chain by saying it's not controlled by 3 entities. Cardano founder has reacted to major Cardano centralization claims from critics. Let's have a read of this then. He published a tweet to respond to yet another critic who accused Cardano of having a centralized management and said that this automatically disqualified it from being better than Bitcoin. Now, I don't think anybody should argue a black and white case of Cardano is better than Bitcoin. That is like saying that Manchester United are better than a fish. They're two totally different things, okay? They just both happen to be on planet Earth. Man United is a football team, a fish swims in a river or the sea, okay? Cardano is absolutely not Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is the gold standard reserve currency now, you could call it that. It's also something that stores value. You can say many other things about it. It's 2/3 of the crypto value. Cardano is a smart contracts platform, a decentralized smart contracts platform that is in no way, shape or form related to Bitcoin, even though they're going to process Bitcoin transactions. So it's very unfair to say anything is better than anything else when they're two completely separate blockchains. He complained about misinformation. When misinformation flows, it takes millions of dollars and years to correct the effort. We'll read comments like this in 2030. Welcome to the latency of fabrication. Again, it's easy to throw slander at people. The best example of this that I've seen recently was the one with Donald Trump. The headline is Donald Trump tells aide to sleep in his bed and not tell his wife. That was the headline, okay? And the fact of the matter was the woman came out and said, that's not what true. I had preeclampsia, I was pregnant, I was with my husband, and Donald Trump said that he could go and sleep on Air Force One in my bed, and my husband and myself thanked him, okay? But that misinformation that's out there about him is going to stick, and the facts won't. And I agree a little bit with Charles that a lot of things that go on stick. A lot of things about Elon Musk, for example, right now, they're sticking to him, even though they're not necessarily based in truth, and not necessarily something that if you read into it, he's doing in a negative way. He's not perfect. He's not an angel. I never said he was. But again, the critic stated that Cardano was not decentralized, but controlled by the entities, where Bitcoin is controlled by none. Again, neither of those two statements are true. Okay, Bitcoin has a direction. Okay, it has a direction. It has a council. It has a group of people that work on improvements to the chain. Cardano has the same. But Charles is no longer the head of Cardano. He recused himself. He took himself away, and IOHK is no longer the running arm of Cardano. It's been handed back to the community. So again, I would be very careful about believing anything you read on the internet. I would always try and look at both sides or find contradictory evidence to everything you find. Now, there are certainly problems with Cardano, but there are certainly problems with every other blockchain. And if you listen to the wrong person, you will believe that Solana is the greatest thing that's ever existed. And if you listen to somebody else, Cardano will be the greatest thing that ever existed. And your job is to not be sucked into that particular cult and to stay like Switzerland, apolitical, stay out of it. Your job is to make your life better. It is not to follow some maxi blindly around pretending that they are the best thing since sliced bread. Now then, moving very swiftly on, do we have plenty of time left? Let me just go and check the time. What time do we have? 27 minutes. We are doing really well. Excuse me. So, bubble maps. I've used it before on the channel. It's a graphical depiction of how tokens are laid out. I wonder if I can actually show you what bubble maps is. This might bring up ETH, I would hope. Let's go and have a quick look. Just give me 1 second. Hello? Perfect, brilliant. Down a minute. I do apologise. I am back. That was a surprise visit from DHL, who are now delivering earlier than they used to deliver. So I do apologise. I am back. Right then, this is bubble maps. And let's just click on one to show you. This shows you the centralization of a coin. Now, if you have seen me talk before about what's it called? Crypto Rug Muncher or ZachXBT. This is a really good tool for them to graphically show you how centralized the token is. And on the right hand side, you will see, if I unmute all of them, you will see how centralized the token is. And on the right hand side, it shows you the wallets that hold those tokens that you can't quite see. And then you can click on one. So that big, huge one there, that is a dead wallet address. And each of these here is a different wallet holding a different amount of Shiba Inu. That's what it is. Now, they have just launched a token. And again, everything gets a token. I don't necessarily agree with that. Bubble Maps has the BMT token, and it spikes 100% after being listed on Binance, which of course the majority of you are watching us on. Now, is this a token that I will hold? No, I'm going to sell it at some point today. I'm going to get rid of it. It doesn't really, I don't see the point of having the token, okay? Ask yourself a question. How is this ever going to go up massively in value? Just because it's listed on Binance, it doesn't mean that it's going to go on and do 100x, okay? Once in a while, one of these tokens will. But do I see the value proposition of Bubble Maps? No, I don't. I don't see it at all. And it's going to run up. Maybe it'll go to 500 million. Maybe it'll go to $1 billion. Maybe it'll go to $2 billion in value. But is what I've just shown you worth $1 billion? No. Is it worth $500 million? No. So is the valuation of that token based on speculation, or is it based on true value? And I will argue all day long with anybody that it's based on speculation. And if that's the case, you shouldn't hold it. Okay? That's my very simple belief system. It doesn't make enough money to warrant the valuation. Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, some of the DeFi projects that we cover. Maple is a brilliant example, okay? They are making about $6 to $7 million a year, okay? And their valuation is about 100 million based on the token, okay? Now, what's that? A 15x. In a new industry, that is not a bad. My company at one point had a multiple of 20x, okay? We ran a different company in a different life. Maybe one day I'll make a video about it. But we ran a company that was given a 20x valuation because it was in a new emerging market and it was a niche within that market and it had a massive valuation. And if it wasn't for the 2008 subprime mortgage crash, we would have been listed on the alternative stock market. So a 15x valuation for a company in Web3, in real world assets, is a really good valuation and probably means it's undervalued. Bubble Maps graphically shows you how much a token is distributed. That's it. Unless they build that project out, I don't see where the value is in it. So you've got to be careful that not everything, that every shiny new token that comes out is something that you should hold. At the end of the day, a crypto company is just a legal entity whose sole job in life is to make money. And if it's not there to make money, why does it exist? And if it's there to make money and it doesn't make money and it's losing money, it's a bad business and it will disappear. Or it's a good business making a good turnover and making a profit which will then allow it to expand. That is why I am so bullish on the likes of WolfSwap. You might notice that we have very specific sponsors, and it's because we turn everybody else down because they don't make any money. They're not going to be here in 2 or 3 years' time. So why am I going to spend our channel's energy talking to you about projects which are going to fail? Because what happens if I talk to you about this? Let's say we find a project on this article now. What happens if I talk to you about this project and say it's going to do really, really well? You're going to go out and think, oh, I'll go and get those tokens. I'm going to hold them for the long term. I'm going to hold them until I sell my Bitcoin. Well, in 5 years' time, that token won't be worth a cent. And who are you going to blame? You're going to blame me. So I have a responsibility, unlike 95% of the scam artists out there, to try my hardest to not fill your head full of crap. That's my job. You might not want me to have that job, but that is my job. I have a conscience. Now, bubble maps, I will sell. The other airdrops that I've been given on Binance, I am going to sell them, okay? I have a very, very small bag of BNB. I have a small bag of TON over there as well, and pretty much a little bit of Solana as well. That's it. That's all I've got on Binance, okay? Because everything that comes through the door is trash normally, and whether Binance want me to say that or not is true. And I don't mean trash in a horrible way. It's trash in a way where, you know, it's got the hype, yes. It's got the team, yes. It's got the investment, yes. But it doesn't make any money. It doesn't make any money. What's the point in investing in it? If I showed you the stock market, the top 1,000 companies, which ones would you pick? Would you pick the top 10? That's not a bad shout. Would you pick ones in an industry that you like? That's not a bad shout either. Or would you go and have a look at the profit and loss of each company? Would you go and look at which sector makes the most money, which sector is expanding the most, or which is a cash cow? You know, you've got oil, for example, massive cash cow. You've got probably cigarettes and alcohol companies, cash cows, companies that will just continue to make money. You're not just going to go, I'll pick that one, that one, that one, and that one, and that company's losing $200 million a year, and suddenly they go out of business. You wouldn't do that in the real life, so why do you do that in crypto? You've got to be careful. Now, so far, SocialFi, again, I think this is all hot air as well. Absolutely hot air. And I got an airdrop of a YAP, Kaito, it was called. I got an airdrop. I don't know what it was worth. $60, $80, $100, whatever it was. Converted it into Ethereum as soon as I got it. Why? Because I think Ethereum will be here in 5 years' time, and I think this won't. So social media and decentralized finance. Instead of only likes and shares, engagement becomes an investment. Influencers can build their own economies through SocialFi tokens, NFT, and DeFi platforms. Fans can buy, trade, and hold digital assets of their favorite creators. What a load of crap. What an absolute pile of horse poo. Now, for those of you that don't know why I think this, it's because of this. Let's see if I can find them. Is it these guys? In English, crypto. I think it's these guys. Okay? There we go. This is the one. This is the one. You don't want to go anywhere near this. This is the kiss of death. Okay. We talked about rug pulls pretty much every week for the last 2 years. This is the slowest rug pull you've ever seen. Fan tokens. Okay? Money can't buy experiences. Unlock the power of fan tokens. What is a fan token? It allows you to support your team in any way, shape, or form. It allows you to show them that you love them. It allows you to become the greatest Arsenal, Liverpool, Juventus, City supporter in the history of mankind. Unique rewards, voting rights, and exclusive games. What a load of junk. Okay? This is junk. This is junk. Now, if your mum or dad happen to be a Liverpool supporter, first of all, commiserations. Secondly, as a joke, feel free to go and buy them 5 or 10 Liverpool tokens as a joke, okay? There's no money in this. There's no value proposition in this. They are meme coins, but they are branded meme coins, and for that reason, they are trash. SocialFi is trash. I could launch a token tomorrow called, I don't know what we'd call it. Cynical. Let's call it Cynical token. I launch a Cynical token tomorrow. See you later, KB. Have fun. I buy a token. I launched a token called Cynical. I release that token to you. You go and buy that token. I say, thank you very much. I am now $500,000 richer. And then you say, what do I get from my token? Well, you support me. You give me all of your love and support. And I love that adoration. Okay. Now, have you heard of Hillsong? It's a bit of a crazy type of religious church in America. Okay. Where they all sing and dance and whatever. And they make money hand over fist. Okay. And they don't do, I'm not saying they do good or bad things, but they build these massive arenas, you know, as big as Wembley Stadium, and they all sing songs and they all chant whatever, and they make a fortune, okay? And that's a fan token. It's just a hyped up version of you supporting something, okay? You go and buy your shirt for Liverpool FC. You've got a physical shirt that you're wearing. You go and buy a season ticket. It gives you access to the ground to go and watch the club. You buy these fan tokens, which cost you probably more than a season ticket, more than a shirt. And what do you get? A chance to win a walk around the stadium, a chance to meet your idol. It's trash. They're all trash. Don't go near them, okay? SocialFi is rubbish. Here's a list of them, okay? And there are some on there where you can go and support. Friendtech absolutely went to trash as well. They're all going to go to trash, okay? There's no value proposition in SocialFi. There's no value proposition in it. You see Crypto Banter, BitBoy Ben, a few others, they've launched their own tokens. And over time, those tokens have gone to zero, or pretty much zero. And they'll come on the screen and say, oh, we're really sorry it's gone to zero. Oh, you know, we've plowed so much time and effort into this token. And I can't believe the market sold out on us. I can't believe the market did this to us. It's a cash grab. Hayley Welsh, cash grab. Hulk Hogan, cash grab. Yee, when it comes out, cash grab. SocialFi tokens. Football fan tokens. Cash grab, cash grab, cash grab. Trash, trash, trash. Don't go near them. Finally, no, not finally. Secondly, we're going to go and talk about another trash area of crypto. And again, listen, let's point something out here. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with anything I say. If you like the metaverse, if you like fan tokens, if you like meme coins, go for it. I'm not stopping you. I'm telling you what I think of them. And the majority of the time, and there's been a very, very, very few rare occasions where we have been completely wrong. The majority of the time we're right because there's no fundamentals. Now, Jurassic World has partnered with the Sandbox to enter the metaverse. Now, I don't know about you, but I am never going to run around as an orange Tyrannosaurus Rex in a game. It's never going to happen, okay? It looks like Minecraft without the fun. It looks like going to your auntie on a Sunday because you're being forced to wear your Sunday best and sitting there drinking boiling hot, over-stewed tea and eating sandwiches that taste nothing like what they're supposed to taste like. And you're sitting there and you've got to wait there for hours. And then they put Crown Green Bowling on the TV. That is more enjoyable than this game. The Sandbox is... how many years does it want to be a success? How many years does Decentraland want to be a success? 10 years? 20 years? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Grand Theft Auto comes along. It goes live. It has its own token. The game is played in Web3, so you've got a wallet connected to you. You're in a universe with potentially 100 million other players. Okay? That is going to blow away everything that Sandbox and Decentraland have ever done and ever will do. If Epic Games takes Fortnite and all of the other types of Fortnite things that go on and bundles that all together and connects it to a Web3 wallet, it will blow away everything that Sandbox and Decentraland have ever done. Okay? Epic Games, Riot Games, Steam have the audience. All they have to do is connect a Web3 wallet to it, and those games can have tokens. Those games can use a Steam token or an Epic token or a Riot token, and it will work and people will play it because people won't care about Web3. And that's the point we're making. We don't want people to care about us playing in the metaverse. Saying you're playing in the metaverse is no fun. Playing Grand Theft Auto 6 against 150 million other people and earning tokens for playing the games and NFTs that you can sell, that is fun. This isn't. It's trash again. According to the press release, Crypto News, the two plan to deliver a new game and immersive experience, all inspired by Jurassic World. Furthermore, they will offer limited edition digital collectibles. These include playable characters, dinosaurs, and wearables. It's just garbage. It's absolute garbage. The only one that's actually made a half-decent effort is the one, is it begin with R? There's a few people that have used it. I can't remember the name of them now. Roblox. Roblox has been minorly successful. But who does this appeal to? 5-year-olds. What 5-year-old is going to be able to get onto Sandbox to play the game? They're making a game for people that can't play it. Those kids are going to go and play Minecraft. You are not going to want to walk around as a pink dinosaur. Do I look like a pink dinosaur? Or do I look like the kind of person that dresses as a pink dinosaur? I do not. So, this flagship release is coming first. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can go down to your local market and pay $5 for a bag of these dinosaurs and give them to your kid, and your kid will get more enjoyment out of it than that. Because it's going to take you 6 hours to figure out where Sandbox is, get a wallet, and figure out how to play it. This is a non-starter. It's not going to work. Why would you purchase real estate? It's just a game, a cash grab. They're just trying to get money out of you. At least when you go to Burger King or McDonald's or Pizza Hut and you know the food you're having is bad, you still enjoy it. But you're going and spending money on a bad game that you're not going to enjoy. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Right then, let's move on very quickly before I bore you all to death telling you of all the things that I don't like, which is not the reason of that article at all. Will quantum computers break Bitcoin? Now, we did cover this slightly a few weeks ago. And we talked about Microsoft. Microsoft have created a new, what was it? They've created a new type of energy or a new something or other. Quantum computing is coming, and we need to make the blockchains quantum resistant. There have been people talking about the fact that quantum computing can break into Bitcoin wallets. There's been people saying that we should do that, but we should do it to destroy the Bitcoin in those dormant wallets. Well, why? If I've got a wallet and I've got 10 Bitcoin in it and I've had it for 8 years and it's dormant, why should you think it's an account that should be destroyed? It should just be left in peace. But beside the point, there's more to life than Bitcoin. Since its creation, the possibility of bypassing Bitcoin security has remained low. That's until quantum computers. These problems can be solved millions of times faster than any other computer. These problems include the cryptographic algorithms that keep Bitcoin safe. It raises the question, will it break Bitcoin? Now, I'm going to ask a question here, and I don't think many people are going to be able to answer it, and those that will are probably going to say I'm an idiot. But can we not use quantum computers to mine Bitcoin? Would the Oracle know the answer to that question? Maybe we will ask the Oracle that question. Can quantum computers be used to mine Bitcoin? Because then can we not use the same technology against itself to protect Bitcoin? Because by using quantum computing to increase the hash rate, it would then make the barrier to attack. Surely it would make it harder to crack. Quantum computers are super fast computers capable of solving complex problems. Quantum computers could break Bitcoin, but they're not at that level yet and might not be for a while. Some people say 5 years, other people say 2 years. 2 years in the history of Bitcoin is a very long time. It's only 9 years old. I can't remember how old Bitcoin is anymore. Is it 14 years old? It's old. But the point of the matter is 2 years is a long time in cryptography and Bitcoin. And there have been blockchains that have already been made quantum resistant. There are already blockchains out there that have fixed it. So it's not an unsolvable problem. It's not something that we need to lose sleep over overnight. Remember, be like that baby seal, sleeping in the reeds, okay? Relax. Quantum computing is using mechanics to interpret data uniquely so it can solve problems faster. So here we go. This is what we're coming down to. Bitcoin wallets. Decrypting a public key is difficult because it's complex to factor in large numbers. Quantum computing could make it possible. Wallets may face quantum attacks that expose private keys from public keys. This is because quantum computers use Shor's algorithm and can easily break the encryption, even if the public key isn't known. Again, that is something to bear in mind. Just give me 1 second. My phone is going off left, right, and center. Okay, we're good. So, Bitcoin mining uses SHA-256 to check and create new blocks. It takes 10 minutes to do. Quantum computers using Grover's algorithm could likely do this in less time, creating a monopoly on the network. It's unlikely that quantum computing will threaten Bitcoin mining. They aren't produced on a large enough scale yet. Again, this is the key thing here. We don't have enough of them for it to be a problem. And when we do have enough of them for it to be a problem, we will have fixed the problem. If there is one thing that annoys me about the world, it's the fact that we don't give humanity enough credit for solving problems. Whether it be environmental issues, the problems will be solved because we have enough intelligence collectively to solve them. Going to Mars, we will get there at some point. Fixing a problem like this, don't get me wrong, right? Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. If you had quantum computing and you could attack something, I would certainly not look to attack Bitcoin. I would certainly go after my competitor. You know, if I was a country, I'd go after the country that's most likely to attack me. That's what I'd go after. Self-defense first, protection, that kind of thing. Going after Bitcoin is just going to bring the entire system down. It's going to hurt you as much as it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt your citizens. So it can happen. I'm sure the Lazarus Group will work on it as well. They'll try and hack into things. But again, it's a long way off. So quantum computing could enhance the effectiveness of Sybil attacks. Quantum-enabled Sybil attacks can cause several issues. They could make nodes unable to authorize transactions. It's key for us to keep up with cryptography and quantum computing. Again, I've read a lot about cryptography. It's a fascinating subject. Cryptography has been around for thousands of years, okay? You can talk about lots of other things. You can talk about Turing. You can talk about the fact that they cracked the Enigma code. You can talk about all of these things. So it's worth looking at cryptography if you're interested in it. It's not all about numbers and algorithms and calculations. It's a really fascinating subject. But at the end of the day, I would not be too worried about this. I don't think we are going to end up with broken Bitcoin, because broken Bitcoin is the end of crypto. But anyway, we've got to the end of the show, I believe. How much time do we have left? 11:58. Good morning, Chinu. I hope you are well. Hope everybody is well in chat. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. It's been lovely. Had a nice number of users. If you're new here, can I ask you to, number one, smash the like button, and number two, subscribe. Now, what I am going to start doing, and I'm going to start asking for people to ask questions in chat. Okay, so let's get rid of this. We don't need to look at this. Although there is a bit of a move on Ethereum towards $2,000. That is a bit of a pump, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know why. Maybe something's happened. Right, let's go back to the screen. Right, so moving forward, what I would want to see from you, Jan, and everybody else, I want questions, okay? I don't want to sit here every day like a pastor preaching to you about the virtues of crypto. So if Jan has a question, and I imagine Jan has lots of questions, ask them in chat. Kishan, you come here every day. Ask me questions in chat. You don't have to ask them every day, but once in a while, ask a question, okay? The same with with Danny and with Mags and Tariq. Ask questions. That's what I'm here for. Since the turn of the year and since Bitcoin's downturn, the Telegram group has gone absolutely silent. Now, either I have taught you so much about crypto that you don't need to ask me questions, or lethargy has set in and you're fed up of an $83,000, $84,000 Bitcoin. And I agree, at times it's really, really tough to find things to talk about which actually have any meaning. And what I mean by that is you'll have noticed that I haven't made that many project videos. And the reason is I'm not going to go and talk about too many projects because the price is still going to keep coming down. What I might do is tell you to get this token at a certain price. So let's take Ondo, for example. Ondo's at what, 85 cents or whatever. I might say to you, right, I've looked at Ondo. Ondo looks good. 60 cents. Don't buy Ondo until 60 cents. Maybe I'll start doing those kind of videos because I do have to make videos. I get that. I have to make videos for content, to stay relevant, all of those kind of things. But your questions inspire me as well. You can ask me a question. I've made multiple videos based on questions from Telegram. Now, if you're on Binance, obviously it's very difficult for you to contact me. So you have to go and find me there. Okay? Crypto Warehouse on YouTube. That's where we are. We're also on Telegram. We've got a Telegram group and you can ask questions there. Don't come in and ask me to send you one Bitcoin. Okay? Don't do that. It's stupid. I'm not going to, of course, send you one Bitcoin. But ask away. That's what I'm here for. And in times like these, when everybody's washed out, everybody's capitulating, everybody thinks the end is nigh, it's not. We're nowhere near the end of the bull run. Okay? Of course, we have price corrections to the downside, and they're taking an eternity to happen. We are not seeing the same kind of action that we saw 4 years ago and 6 years ago and 8 years ago. And maybe that's Trump. Maybe it's quantitative tightening. Who knows? But feel free to ask questions. Exactly. So anyway, that's enough of me. It is, I don't know what time it is now, 12:02. We are done for the day. Thank you, everybody. I am back tomorrow. We are going to stream every day this week. One thing I do want to point out, the Chronos night that went so horribly wrong last Wednesday was going to be this Wednesday, but the weather's been crap. So next Wednesday is the Chronos night where we're giving away NFTs, we're giving away Reaper token, and we're giving away Papa Crow. That is next Wednesday. And I am going to make some more videos this week, so keep an eye out for them. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great Wednesday. Let's hope. I didn't even give you the price targets, did I, for Bitcoin? I think we'll wick below 80,000 if it's bad, but we'll come back to where we are tomorrow. And if it's really, really bullish, then we need to get above 90,000. And I think we'll go to 88. That's the two targets for me, below 80 or bounce off 88. But either way, I think we're going to be roughly the same price tomorrow. And if we're not, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised, as I'm sure most of you are. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Adios.